Namaskar and a very warm welcome to everyone joined in today on our week 74th Know Your Species, Know Your Zoo talk. This talk is being organized by the Central Zoo Authority, New Delhi, as part of the ongoing Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. The Mahotsav is a 75-week-long celebration to commemorate 75 years of India's independence, which falls on the 15th of August 2022. The Central Zoo Authority is taking the celebration forward through a massive outreach campaign entitled Conservation to Coexistence, The People Connect. Under the helm of this campaign, we will be showcasing 75 conservation priority species and 75 zoos, highlighting one species and one zoo each week. We're currently in week 74 of the celebration with the leopard as a species in focus and the lion breeding center and multiple safaris park Etawah as a zoo in focus. So joined in today to speak to us on the zoo is on the species is Dr. Devendra Kumar, who is the Evaluation and Monitoring Officer of the Central Zoo Authority. Dr. Devendra has done his doctorate on leopards from Himachal Pradesh from the Wildlife Institute of India, and has subsequently worked at the National Zoological Park in the animal and education sector, and has then moved on to work as a scientific officer at CZA before taking over his present post. So he will speak to us today more on the species in focus. So over to you, sir.
I think my presentation is viewable
Yes,
in
yes,
full screen mode.
sir. Yes, please go ahead, sir.
So thank you for this opportunity and introduction as well. I'm Dr. Devendra and I am working as the Evaluation and Monitoring Officer in the Central Zoo Authority. And today got opportunity to talk on the leopards, my PhD species. So, as now there are 40 species of cats in the world, and uh, leopard is one uh, of the species which falls under the kingdom Animalia and phylum Chordata, class Mammalia, order Carnivora, family Felidae, subfamily Fenelli, and genus Panthera, species Pardus. And it is well protected under Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act in India and uh, included in red list of IUCN threatened animals, and the status is as vulnerable. And there are 9 different species of the leopard found in world, although there are 27 subspecies given by the experts. However, based on their size of rosette, color code, and other uh, physical features, but 9s were recognized finally. And the Panthera pardus species, which is found in South Africa, is most widely distributed species in the world of leopard, and the uh, Panthera pardus sexicolor found in Southwest Asia is the biggest one among the 9 species, while Arabian leopard is the smallest species of the leopard found in the world. So, leopard is found as old as 1.5 to 2 million years ago, as per the fossils records. And during the Pleistocene, leopard inhabited Africa, Asia, and Europe as far west as England, a vast area that included nearly the same area as that inhabited by the lions and tiger. However, now due to uh, many factors, the population trend is declining, and it has extinct from its historical range from many parts. So in Europe, many different subspecies of fossil leopard were recognized. Leopard entered Europe earlier than the lion in the early middle Pleistocene. These unspecialized leopard resembled the jaguars of the North American Pleistocene, a separate subspecies of leopard from southeastern Europe spread to Central Europe at the end of the Riss glaciers. Again, the repeated glaciation and isolation during Pleistocene has resulted in a complicated pattern of speciation and subspeciation. At the, at the turn of this century, the range of leopard only included Africa and stretched north across Asia from Caucasus Mountains in southern Russia eastward through southern Turkmenia and southern West Tajikistan to Amur River in eastern Siberian. So this is the distribution map of the leopard, and it is found in almost every kind of habitat, ranging from the rainforest of the tropics to desert and temperate region as well as degraded areas. It is known to occur from across Africa to South Asia, northwards to Central Asia and east to Amur Valley in Russia. In India, it has a wide range of distribution except the arid region of Rajasthan, the mangrove forest and above tree line in Himalaya. However, the leopard is recorded from the 0 meter elevation from mean sea level to 5,200 meter from the sea level. So among all these large cats or other cats, leopard is the most uh, elusive cat and well adapted to the environmental conditions. So most distributed large cat in India as well in world. And leopards are ecologically generalist rather than specialist, as because other large carnivores have specialized food prey items as per their baits, but leopard can adapt to any kind of food habits, right from rodents to large medium-sized predator, and also well adapted to thrive in the edge habitat or inside small forest patches or protected areas. And they are able to live in close vicinity of villages and feed on large or small prey and also predate upon domestic animals. And if you talk about the physical description, the leopard shows great variation in appearance and its behavior. The Indian leopard, the subspecies Panthera fusca, is a sleek, short-haired animal with a fulvous or bright fulvous coat marked with small, close-set black rosette, rose-like structures. These rosette are small and have no dark spots in the middle, as like in the jaguar. Yes, but are black circle broken into 2 to 5 parts. The head, lower limbs, and belly are spotted with solid black spots. And the coat color varies from pale yellow to deep gold, depending upon the environmental condition or geographical conditions. And animals from the desert zone are paler. A leopard from Kashmir or in the colder region have soft, deep furred gray fur, buff coat with small, thick rimmed rosette. The coat color and rosette pattern are broadly associated with surrounding habitat types. The coat pattern differ between individual leopard and from one side of the body to other of the same, and no two leopards look the same. Each leopard has a unique spot pattern. So based on the spot pattern, leopard can be distinguished, identified and distinguished from each other. So one of the most striking feature is found in leopards is melanism. The leopard being totally black. Melanism is a common coat color mutation in cats and not a subspecies. People think that this is black panther is a different animal or subspecies, but it is not the fact. It is a melanistic leopard, and melanism is in leopard and domestic cat is usually due to recessive gene at the agouti locus for coat color and is probably the case in all cats. Melanistic leopards or black panthers are very common in the rainforest of southern Asia, especially in India and Southeast Asia. Leopard in Iran and Central Asia have a lighter color and had a long-haired winter coat. Leopard has an elongated body and limbs of moderate length. The paws are broad, rounded, and the ears are short. The tail is longer in comparison to the body and assists its movement. The throat, chest, belly, and inside of limbs are white. The backs of ears are black with a white center spot, but there are various aberrant coat patterns. The skull is relatively elongated, but flat on the upper surface. So, as I earlier told that it is the most widely distributed cat in India as well as in the world, and ecologically journalist. And there is much variation in the size in various parts of India. However, the adult body weight of male leopard ranges from 50 to 70 kg with average body weight of 58 kg, while female the weight of the female ranges from 29 to 54 kg with an average weight of 37.5 kg. And they average 28-inch at its shoulder with a general range of 17.5 to 30.5 inches high at the shoulder. The head and body length ranges from 90 to 196 centimeter with a 66 to 102 centimeter long tail. So the tail of leopard is quite long as compared to other cat like jaguar or cheetah, and it is a ringed in the end, ring-like structure. It forms the ring-like structure in the end of the or in the tip. And leopard are very solitary animals and they are highly territorial. However, often mating, and they join their mate uh, and mating takes place for 4 to 5 days. The male becomes sexually mature or active at the age of 2 to 3 years, whereas the female becomes sexually mature at about 3 years of the age. After mating, the gestation period range of the gestation period is lies from 90 to 110 days, with an average of 96 days. And leopard generally give birth to 2 to 4 cubs, and they give uh, birth in caves, rock surfaces, hollow tree trunks, or in dens. And 40 to 50% of the cubs die in the first year of their age. Now, if we talk about the food habits of the leopard, as I earlier told that leopard is a journalist rather than specialist and can survive in a on a wide range of uh, animals, although it prefer medium-sized prey like deers and antelopes, spotted deer, barking deer. However, in the absence of uh, that prey species, it can eat anything. Means it can even squench on the meat of other animals, steal the meat from hyenas, or tigers, or lions if they are sharing the habitat. So in my food habit, in my PhD, I have also studied the food habit in Himachal Pradesh. So this is the table. If you are able to see, it can. There are 13 species found in the um, diet of leopard. So which constitute of rodents, hare, wild pig, porcupine, birds, langur, even reptiles are there. Snakes are there, and the prey base of wild species like deer, barking deer, sambar deer, cheetal, or nilgai is very low in that in my study area, that is Mandi and Hamirpur district of Himachal Pradesh. So the leopard replaces their diet with cattle, buffalo, sheep, goat, dog, and vegetation and soil was also found in one two scats while analyzing. But here you can see the um, we have used Ackermann equation for this relative bioma to relative biomass consumed and relative number of animals consumed. So you can see that the number of animals is rodents is 90.7, while they are contributing to 20.1% of the biomass consumed by the leopard. So leopard is ready to survive on wild animal species. However, if they are not finding any wild to eat, then they attack the domestic animals, which bring them into the conflict with the human beings. And here, this is a photograph. This might be happen while chasing this civet cat. The leopard also fell in the well, and this was rescued. And I was also there with the rescue team that time. So it is clear that yes, leopard can survive right from rodent to sheep or buffalo big size. So it is a generalist rather than specialist. And what I talked about, that it is the most animal in conflict with the human because of its survivability close to human vicinity. And it is not fact that they knowingly attack the human beings, but in my area, it is by chance attack that leopard is inside the cow shed or whatever or taking the dogs, attacking the dog for food, but human suddenly come and to save the dog or their cattle, and while running or while running from the cow shed, they just attack on humans also. So it is not always there that these are the these are attacking knowingly to the humans. And the reason for this is habitat fragmentation, habitat disturbance, and degradation, loss of forests, and scarcity of prey waste. So these are the major reason of which the species come in conflict with the humans. So for these scientific purposes, scientific studies are for managing these problems. Scientific studies are should be taken up on regular basis. And so about also in this food habits, the average diet of leopard is like up to 3.5 kg, which we recommend or which we found from the study. But in like in zoos, we have recommended a diet of 3 to 5 kg of buffalo calf meat. And yes, the leopards, other facts of the leopards are good swimmers, and although they do not need much water to survive, and they just drink water 2 to 3 days once, and they are very good hunters. They can climb trees up to 20 to 25 feet with the prey of more than their body weight. So these have the leopards have the strength to do all these things, and these are opportunistic carnivores. And so in conflict, you might be knowing that one of the leopard in state of Uttarakhand has killed more than 400 people. So these are very aggressive and uh, aggressive and good hunters. So this is, I think, all about the introduction about the leopard. And so similarly, for in the zoos, in the captive conditions, the Central Zoo Authority has also given guidelines, and also uh, that naturalistic environment with nature emerging exhibits should be provided to the animals, including leopard. And the minimum area for housing the leopard in zoo, either in display or in off display area, is 500 square meter, and for a pair. And if you want to have additional animal, then you have to add 100 square meter more area. And similarly for the night houses, night cells, the dimension is also mentioned so that the animal can get minimum area for their exercise, movement, and for becoming active. And similarly, the barrier for leopard enclosure recommended by the Central Zoo Authority is of a chain link fence with 4-meter height and inward steel plates of 1-meter width on the top of the enclosure, so that animal could not come outside. And it is a top open air enclosure. And you can also use the moat for the animal. And diet recommended by the IVRI in captive condition is 2.50 kg of buffalo calf meat to the male leopard, and to the female leopard it is 2 kg recommended. However, it can be increased to 3 kg in the winter and 2.5 kg for the female leopard, and it should be supplemented with other supplements, which is right in the right side of the like lactating animals should be fed ad lib ration, may be distributed over 2 to 3 equal times. So these are all guidelines issued by the Central Zoo Authority for captive conditions. And yes, for when the central government of India has banned exhibition of the trained animals in the circuses, the Central Zoo Authority has taken the responsibility of managing these species, and this also include 21 of leopards. And so far, the government of India through Central Zoo Authority is maintaining and managing all these rescue center and these animals. So we have made great effort for the management of these circus animals. And also we are recommending that the zoo should get the drawing approved at the animal leopard is fall in the Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act. And we have also given many guidelines on the welfare purpose, like enrichment should be there and all other things. And here in the zoo, when people visits the zoo, they are very confusing between jaguar and leopard. So jaguar and leopards can be physically identified. Jaguar is a little bit larger in size than the leopards, and mm, although they look even cheetah, all these three species are have similar looks, and zoo visitors are very confusing. So this is for the zoo visitor or students, children who are listening to the talk, and uh, that these animals can be identified based on their color code. The leopard has smaller rosette structure, while the cheetah have, while the jaguar have big structure with a spot in the center, black spot in the center of that rosette. And the tail of the leopard is quite long as compared to jaguar. Jaguar has short tailed animal, and cheetah have polka dot pattern, and small size as compared to jaguar leopard. So these animals can be identified on based on their color code. And so this is the latest available census record that India housed in free ranging. There are 12,000 and 852 leopards are present in India. Similarly, in zoos, we have 596 leopards in 77 zoos, housed in 77 number of zoos in across India. The highest number, if we see the state-wise, Madhya Pradesh has the highest number of leopards in India, while Jharkhand has the lowest number with 46 leopards in their state. So with this, I would like to thank you all for joining and listening the talks. And I think question may be taken later on. And thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Devendu, for giving an insightful talk on the Indian leopard, as well as sharing the key CZA insights onto leopard housing guidelines and conservation. So we now move on to the second part of today's talk, which is on Know Your Zoo. So joined in today to speak to us on the Lion Breeding Center in Multiple Safari Park, Etawah, is Mr. Karthik Dwivede, who is the education officer there. So Mr. Karthik is a wildlife educator and a photographer and has contributed to various forums with published works in Google, National Geographic, Rajasthan Heritage Art and Cultural Foundation, to name a few. So he has previously worked with the Ear to Wild Foundation on the human-elephant interactions and is currently working as an educator, as an education officer at the zoo, spreading awareness about the need for education of wildlife through research, education, and storytelling. So over to you, sir, to please speak more on the zoo.
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. I would also like to thank on behalf of the Lion Breeding Center and Multiple Safari Park team for this wonderful opportunity. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. Can you see the screen?
Yes, I can see the screen.
Okay, please go ahead.
So that is the introduction slide. Could we please move to the next one? So we start with the history for the zoo. So the Lion Breeding Center in Multiple Safari Park is located in the historical Fisher Forest that spreads across an area of over 350 hectares. The history being in 1884, the district magistrate of Etawah, Mr. J. Fisher, convinced the zamindars here to voluntarily hand over the ravine area of close to 1146.07 hectares to the DM office to save it from any erosion. This area was later plowed in seeds of babool, that is Acacia nilotica, shisham, that is Elbrigeria siso, and neem, which is Azaricta indica, were sown for grazing. Later in 1912, the Allen Cooper Company in Kanpur leased the area at a rent of rupees 2.50 per hectares per year for over 50 years, and it was then commercially exploited until 1914. Since 1914, these areas have been under the control of Uttar Pradesh Forest Department, wherein they have worked on basically two things. Firstly, the construction of check dams to prevent soil erosion, and secondly, plantation of indigenous flora species. Those species will talk about those species in the later slides. Could we go to the next slide? These are some of the. I think we moved one slide extra. Can we go back?
This is the second slide.
Yeah. So could you please just move one more slide?
Okay.
I think there's a slide mismatch. Okay, so I'll let you know. Probably there's a slide that says about the importance of a lion breeding center. So the basic aim, why a lion breeding center? The establishment of a lion breeding center serves the dual purpose. Firstly, making it the only breeding facility of pure breed Asiatic lions anywhere in the country, as well as replicating a wild population of the bygone era in its near natural and favorable habitat. Please take one slide back. These are the breeding achievements of the Asiatic lions that are born and bred at the facility. And these are the dates. So we have Sultan, Simba, Bahubali, Kesari, Bharat, Rupa, Sona, Nirja, and Gargi. These are the dates. Can we go forward? The vision and mission of the zoo, as I explained, for the importance of a lion breeding center, the vision is to establish an international standard XC2 lion breeding center to augment the captive Asiatic lion population of the country, and also to support conservation awareness through establishment of lion safari, along with other species like such as leopards, sloth bears, antelopes, and deer. The mission being to create facilities for captive breeding of Asiatic lion to supplement their population in India, and to create awareness and sensitivity towards the cause of conservation of Asiatic lions and other species in a near natural habitat, and furthering it through audio, visual, and interactive media provided in a nature interpretation center. Also to create a theme-based eco-awareness facility for local people and visitors. Could we go to the next slide, please? So we got this slide. As I already talked on the slide, the importance of a lion breeding center. There you see two visuals, one on the left, bottom of the screen, one on the right. Those are the lions that are bred at the facility. On the left, you see three lions, out of which two are lioness, Rupa and Sona, and Bharat is there on the extreme left. While on the right side, you see two females, Nirja and Gargi, at the lion breeding center. So Asiatic lion, as we know, is an endangered species which survives today only in India in the Gir forest of Gujarat with a population of a meager 674 as per the 2020 census. Since a reasonable population exists only in the country in captivity, and in whatever zoos that it exists, most of the stock is highly hybridized due to intermixing of individuals of both Asiatic and African lion. Why a breeding center? The Asiatic lion once roamed and reigned all over northern, western, and central Indian forests, from Hindukush to Bay of Bengal, up to Narmada River, as per the historical records that we have. Indication of migrating lion population to the forest surrounded by Yamuna River catchment area until medieval times is also recorded, with the last Asiatic lion being shot in Shivalik Foothill, which is now Saharanpur Forest Division, and Aravali Forest around Delhi. So with zoos serving as a powerful medium of imparting wildlife education and awareness through viewing from close quarters, the Lion Breeding Center, as I mentioned, of international standards was established to augment the captive Asiatic lion population of the country and support conservation awareness. These two pictures that we have are the lions that are bred at the facility. The next slide, please. So we have types of safari. So the lion breeding center and multiple safari parks.
Mr. Karthik, we're not able to hear you.
We have the next slide. Can we please move to the next slide?
Mr. Karthik, your voice is breaking. We've not been able to hear what you said about the slide. If you can just reiterate that quickly.
Okay, so we were mentioning about the types of safaris that we have. Am I audible now?
Yes, you're audible now.
Okay. So I mentioned the Lion Breeding Center and Multiple Safari Park at Etawah boasts a healthy population of animals in the form of 5 safaris at present, which are namely Asiatic Lion Safari, then we have Sloth Bear Safari, then we have Deer Safari, wherein we have the spotted deer and sambar deer population. Then we have Indian Antelope Safari, which consists of black buck and blue bull. And then lastly, we have Leopard Safari. So I'll let you know about all those things in more yes in specific. The first one is Asiatic Lion Safari. The Asiatic lion, scientifically Panthera leo, is listed as endangered on the IUCN Red List. It survives today only in Gir National Park, Gujarat, in India. The Asiatic lion is a sociable and communicative animal which congregate into small units called pride, comprising of 5 to 7 lions. The unique characteristics for the identification of Asiatic lion is the longitudinal fold of skin under its belly. Asiatic. Now about the Asiatic lion safari. Our Asiatic lion safari is spread across 50 hectares of land and houses 17 lions, 8 females and 9 males in total. 8 individuals have been brought from Shakarbagh Zoological Park, Junagadh and Rajkot Zoo, while the remaining 9 individuals have bred at the breeding center. Uh, Now about the feed. Male intake is 7 kgs of buffalo broiler. Female intake is 5 kgs of buffalo broiler. Enrichments, about the enrichments, you can see on the right, bottom right image, you can see the lioness playing with one of the enrichments. Enrichments help in adding to the overall physical and mental agility to optimize animal welfare. The kind of enrichments that we use are resting ledges, wooden balls, socializing pans, tire and hume pipes, etc. Could we move to the next slide, please? Could we please go to the next slide? I think आवाज नहीं आ रही कुछ. Yes. Uh, I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, so we move on to the sloth bear. The sloth bear is listed as vulnerable on the IUCN Red List. It is an omnivorous species which feeds on fruits, ants, and termites. It has a long, shaggy fur and mane around the face, just like the lion, and long, sickle-sharp claws. About the sloth bear safari, the sloth bear safari is spread across 21 hectares of land and houses 3 sloth bears, 1 female and 2 males in total at present. 2 individuals have been brought from Nandankanan Zoological Park and one from Bhagwan Birsa Biological Park. The feed comprises of fruit porridge, honey, and other supplements in quantities of 4 to 5 kgs per animal per day. About the enrichments that we use, could you please just move on to the back slide? The sloth beer slide again. Yes, the enrichments that we use are, as you can see on the bottom right image, the sloth beer is with a tire. So the enrichments that we use are tires, hides, and fodder tubes, etc. So now the next slide. The next slide, please. Now the spotted deer and sambar deer. The spotted deer, axis, is listed as the back slide, please. आवाज नहीं आ रही।
Sir, is the slide visible to you?
Your voice is breaking now.
Mr. Karthik, can you see the slide on spotted deer and the deer safari?
No, actually, I can see the Indian antelope slide. So if you could just
I
take
have
me to
gone
the
back
previous
on.
spotted deer slide.
I have gone back on the spotted deer and sambar deer slide. I think there is a bit of a lag on from your end. I think you can continue speaking. Just let me know when I need to move on to the antelope slide. I'll move. Okay, we
On
are
my
right
screen,
now on the screen right now is the spotted deer and sambar deer slide. Okay.
actually, I can see the Indian.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a lag there in terms of what you're able to see, but I have moved back to the spotted deer and sambar deer slide, so you can continue. Mr. Karthik, you're not audible again. Are you able to hear me? You're not audible at all.
Yes, that actually I'm able to see the Indian antelope slide. If we could go to the deer slide.
Sir, we are already on the deer slide. I think there is an internet
Right.
issue from your side. If you can just continue speaking on the spotted deer slide, and when we have to move to the antelope slide, please let me know. We are currently on the spotted deer and sambar deer slide. If you could have someone open the YouTube
It is
page,
actually inaudible.
if someone could open the
I'm-
YouTube page who's with you, I think you'll be able to see it much better.
I'm not sure if
Who has a different.
I'm not sure if my voice. Hello.
Mr. Karthik, can you please try speaking out loud? Your voice is breaking repeatedly.
Okay, I'll do that. audible now?
Yes, you're audible, but we are on the spotted deer slide, so if you can just move ahead from here.
Uh, Now you can see it. Uh, so sorry for the lag. As I was saying, we have the third safari that we have is spotted deer and sambar deer, which is the deer safari. The spotted deer is an IUCN species of deer native to the Indian continent. They are sexually dimorphic, a condition wherein the sexes of the same species exhibit different characteristics. The upper parts are golden, covered in white spots. And the sambar deer, which is Rusa unica, is a vulnerable species on the IUCN Red List, is a deer native to the Indian subcontinent, South China, and Southeast Asia. They have a 3 foot of long, coarse hair which forms a dense mane around the neck, especially in males. The male can be distinguished by their antlers as well as being slightly larger and darker than the females and young ones. Now, about the deer safari. The deer safari is spread across 31 hectares and houses 46 spotted deer and deer, taking the total count to 58 individuals. The feed comprises of cherry cereal fodder, bottle gourd, cucumber, and other supplements in quantities of 7 to 10 kgs per animal. The enrichments being used are fodder ropes for physical agility, wooden logs, etc. Uh, could we move to the next slide, please? Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. Please continue.
Can we take to the next slide?
I have moved to the antelope slide.
Yes, I can see it now. Uh, so the Indian antelope, we have two species there. Firstly, the blackbuck, secondly, the bluebill, also known as nilgai. The blackbuck or Indian antelope is is a least concerned species on the IUCN Red List. It is an antelope native to India and Asia. The coats of males show a two-tone coloration, while the upper parts and outsides of the legs are dark brown to black. Now, the blue bull or the nilgai is also least concern on the IUCN Red List, and it largest Asian antelope native to northern India, northern Indian continent. A sturdy, thin-legged antelope, the nilgai is characterized by a sloping back, a deep neck, the white patch on the throat. As far as the safari is concerned, the antelope safari is spread across 30 hectares of area and houses a total of 80 antelopes with 78 blackbucks and 2 bluebird individuals. As far as the feed is concerned, it comprises of cherry cereal fodder, bottle gourd, cucumber, and other supplements in quantities of 7 to 10 kgs per animal. Now, the supplements being used here are adaptations of etc. Can we move to the next slide? So the last safari here is the leopard, which is also the topic. So the leopard Panther pardis, vulnerable species is the carnivore Kataniaghat Wildlife Sanctuary and two individuals from North, all in Uttar Pradesh. The feed male intake is 3 kgs of buffalo broiler. Female intake is 2 kgs of buffalo broiler. The enrichments which are being used are resting ledges, belt and rope hanging, wooden balls, and hiding spaces have been implemented within the leopard safari. You can see the on the right enrichment. Can you please move to the next slide? veterinary care and management of rescued animals. So we also have a veterinary hospital with a team of well-equipped in-house vets, a quarantine center, rescue facility, and neonatal center. This is based with rescued leopards and tigers from various places. So the first image is a view of our veterinary hospital. The second one from left to right, the second one is a rescued leopard that we got from a place called Parikshitgarh. It was under operation. The third is the latest latest rescue for the center. It's a rescue tigers from data. It has been isolated status for decades. Fourth is the leopard cub that we rescued and was handled at the veterinary, now outside the neonatal center. The next slide, please. Uh, Habitat improvement and free-ranging species. So, uh, as I mentioned in the history of the zoo, this place is a revinous area. Here, it was completely exploited previously. So, the first thing the Uttar Pradesh Forest Department took it under its charge was the eradication of exotic such as Flora, such as Prosopis juliflora, Parthenium grass, and Lantana camera. And thereon, the maintenance of grasslands for herbivores and silviculture populations of indigenous flora species. Center and multiple safari park is also home to a wide area of flora, fauna, and AV fauna. Of moths. So, can we take to the next slide? I'll show you what all is there. It's a pictorial slide. So, this is a glimpse of the flora species that we have here. We have Salvera olides, the common name being pilu. We have Salvadora persica, meswak. We have other species on the left. On the right side, we have avifauna species. We have recorded here green bee eaters, pied manna, malkoha, thick-billed flower, francolin, greater cowcal, common manna, honey buzzard, blue-tailed bee eater, yellow tail. We have also identified 8 species of owl here, of owls here. We have more to this list. Can you go to the next slide, please? So these are some of the other species. The left side bracketing is for the avifauna species that we left: barn owl, oriental white-eye, shikra, white-eared bulbul. Then a glimpse of free-ranging fauna species. We have recorded golden jackals into the free-ranging spaces here. We have recorded blue bull, wild boar, jungle cat, larger Asian palm civet cat, sambar deer. Also, we have recorded at times we have recorded leopards, the presence of leopards in this area. Then the butterfly species is orange tip, dainty sulfur, blue pansy, dark evening brown moth. The reptilian species are green keelback, Indian flapshell turtle, Indian cobra, Indian star tortoise, monitor lizard, common crate, red sand boa, and Indian python, to name a few. The next slide, please. So now about the achievements. So the achievements here are we have successfully the successful captive breeding of pure breed Asiatic lions at the breeding facility to establish a satellite population, wherein we have out of the 9 individuals born till 2021, we have 5 male and 4 females born at the facility. Then successful treatment of 2 Asiatic lions suffering from COVID. Successful identification and treatment of canine distemper CD virus through proper vaccination. This vaccine is now licensed and circulated all over India to land breeding center in multiple safari park at Etawah. Then rescue of two leopard cubs from Bijnor district in 2020, one adult leopard from Parikshitgarh in 2021, and one tigress from Etah, the pictures we have seen previously. Then rescue and rehabilitation of leopards in the safari area from time to time since 2018 to 2022. The upcoming projects that we are taking care of are we are looking forward to build an animal rescue center. A tiger safari would be an addition as the sixth safari. Then uh, 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 now.
अभी बोल रहे- Thank you, Mr. Karthik, for the presentation on the zoo. I think we did face a bit of a technical glitches there in terms of the lag and in the voice, but I hope that the audience did get a gist of the Lion Breeding Center and Multiple Safari Park Etawah, and they also know more on the safaris that are there and the future plans of the zoo. So we now move on to the question answers for today's session. So we will take questions first for Dr. Devinder. So, sir, are you with us?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, sir. So the first question for you, sir, is that so living with leopards or like is a popular program for mitigating the human leopard conflict in Maharashtra, in Mumbai, basically. Are you aware of any other similar programs that are implemented in other parts of the country to mitigate human leopard conflict?
No, I don't think that is the first of its kind project in Maharashtra, what is going on. However, conflict study have been taken in Podi Garhwal region also, and recommendations were provided to minimize the human leopard conflict, as in case of my study site also.
Right, sir. And so the next question for you is that for a species that is involved, in conflict, like and known to be, and suppose the leopard is known to be involved in conflict and to live outside protected areas, what long-term conservation strategies do you think should be proposed for its conservation?
It's scientific research-based management studies can help in minimizing the problem. Actually, leopard is a prolific breeder. So after doing research work, we can conclude that this much prey is available to the leopard, and we can restrict the population up to a minimum carrying capacity. So this will, I think, help in minimizing the problem in long term. And we may also have some short-term mitigation measures and medium-term mitigation measures in place. But for long term, we need scientific research and management recommendations coming from that research.
Right, sir. So I think those were the questions that I've got for you. So we now move on to questions for Mr. Karthik. Mr. Karthik, can you hear us?
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so
You
Mr.
audible.
So Mr. Karthik, the first question for you is what are the challenges that are faced by you by running a safari park in contrast to conventional zoo with enclosures?
Firstly, I would think is one of the challenges, the things that would come in between is probably the education and awareness format, which is mostly with enclosures. Am I audible?
So we lost your bit where you said such as, and then we couldn't hear. So if you could just repeat that.
Okay, I'll start again. Could you please repeat it? Could you please repeat the question now?
The question is that what are the challenges faced in running a safari park in contrast to a conventional zoo with enclosures?
Yes. So I think the challenges that are generally faced are it would be in terms of awareness and education, both in terms of the species that we have, also to the visitors that we have. Probably in a zoo, such as in a zoo format where the animal is mostly inside an enclosure, a smaller space. In contrast to that, a safari park is wherein mostly the visitors would be housed inside a closed vehicle. But then again, you need to constantly study about the species, about the behavior of the various species that you have at hand. And therein you need to train people. So I think that would be the most challenging part of it.
Right, sir. And the next question for you is what are some of the educational activities carried out by the zoo?
Pardon me.
What are some of the educational activities carried out by the zoo?
Yes. So as far as the education plan goes, we are currently also working on a long-term education plan.
Okay, I think we have lost Mr. Karthik again. There seems to be a bit of a network issue. So anyway, we come to a conclusion for our week 74 Know Your Species, Know Your Zoo talk. On behalf of the Central Zoo Authority, I would like to thank both Dr. Devendra Kumar and to you, Mr. Karthik, for taking time out of your busy schedules and joining us for this talk. I would also like to thank the audience who have been through with us through this talk and despite the technical glitches. And I hope you know more about the Indian leopard as well as the lion breeding center and multiple safari park Etawah. And I would like to further inform them this is our second last talk for the 75-week-long talk series. We have reached almost the culmination, which will be next week. And during our 75th week of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, we will be hosting talks from Monday to Wednesday at 4 p.m. So do tune in for talks. And our first talk on Monday will be on the snow leopard. So do tune in for that talk on Monday at 4 p.m. Thank you so much and namaskar.
Thank you.